This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by the 2012 Ford Fiesta.
So we're doing a few games here that basically iPad games that you can control with your iPhone, which is kind of a cool concept.
It's very cool. It's a very cool, expensive concept.
It is an expensive
We're definitely
concept.
not presenting this as you should, if you have an iPhone, you should buy an iPad just to do this.
You probably have, if you have an iPad, you probably have an iPhone too, because you're a fan of all iOS things.
Right.
Which means you can do some pretty cool things with FIFA 2012, Chopper 2, Scrabble, The Incident. These are the games we're going to look at. There's actually a whole list of games that you can do this kind of setup with. These are just 4 of the games that we happen to like or particularly dislike.
Right.
So that's what we're going to focus on here.
Yeah. So this is cool. You're kind of using you use your iPad as a console and a display, and your iPhones are your controllers.
So we're starting with one we dislike a lot. Oh look, waiting for device now, which is a shame because FIFA 2012 is actually a really good.
It's one of the best sports games on the iPad, and probably one of the best games on the iPad.
Yeah.
So when we saw that this thing has a gamepad for the iPhone, we were like, oh, this is great. This is gonna be just like playing FIFA like on the Genesis or on the original PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So it makes you download EA's gamepad. And it wants you to do this because it's using Bluetooth to connect, so 2 players can connect at the same time. All the other games we're looking at here, except for Scrabble, are one player only, and it's using Wi-Fi to connect.
Right.
So I'm assuming there's trouble doing multiplayer games over Wi-Fi. Not sure why.
Me neither. So, I mean, the whole deal is you're supposed to download this proprietary gamepad and use it with their game. It's a strange decision. I don't know why they didn't just build the gamepad into the iPhone version of the app.
Right.
I don't know why we have to download this separate application, which we were talking about this.
Yeah.
It only works for FIFA, and barely at that. That's the other problem.
EA makes Scrabble as well.
Yeah.
And Scrabble has their own Scrabble tile application that you download for free and control it. So EA has decided to put out this generic gamepad app only for FIFA 2012. That's the only thing that works so far.
Yeah.
Which is
Theoretically.
Theoretically.
We just got kicked off. This happens a lot, where the connection is very tenuous, and you'll find that even when you're in a game, it will cut off on you at random. And the problem is, if one player's controller drops out, the entire game stops.
Yeah.
And you cannot restart the game. It's just a really kludgy implementation. I wish we could even get in to show it to you.
But we're not. So we're going to move on to Chopper 2. All right, Chopper 2.
Chopper 2, this is the next
better.
one. Yes.
A lot better.
It actually
works.
A lot better in terms of this actually working. So basically, Chopper 2 is like a classic choplifter style arcade game. And you can connect your iPhone wirelessly and use tilt controls to control the chopper.
Yeah. It's a fun game if you're not a fan of physics.
or proper control or anything like that. You can see the tilt-based control here is really, really off. Look at how much I'm turning this just to go up and down.
And if you actually, if you try to play the game just on the iPad alone, you're doing that on the iPad too.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to see what you're doing on the screen.
We should say that, yeah, this is not a limitation of the controller. This is just the way tilt controls in this game work.
You can calibrate sensitivity of controls, so that's probably something we can and should do. But the main point here is that yes, it works over Wi-Fi. You don't have to deal with Bluetooth. But it's somewhat of a dull game.
Yeah, it's really simple. This is kind of like a browser one-button sort of mouse game.
Yeah.
And
it's casual. It's fun.
it's not something that requires this much of a setup though to play. Like you're not really gaining anything out of this.
Definitely don't buy this entire setup to play Chopper 2.
No.
Don't do that. All right, let's check out Scrabble.
Yes. So next we have Scrabble, which is another EA game.
Yes.
So connectivity-wise, it's just as weird, but it actually works. You still have to do the Bluetooth on, Wi-Fi off thing.
So
but
this looks like a
really
limitation of Wi-Fi then.
Yeah.
If Scrabble's doing it, well, actually they're both EA games, so maybe EA hasn't figured out a way around this, but it wants you to turn off the Wi-Fi, wants you to use Bluetooth.
Yes, but once you get it connected, which is not nearly as hard as FIFA was, this is a really cool implementation of this. It's a really fun idea.
Yeah.
Every phone is a tile rack, and you just kind of swipe the tile into the main iPad, which is your board. So
if you think about the way you actually play Scrabble, you've got your little wall tiles and you facing it away from your opponent. So it's kind of the same concept here with your phone. I can see what he's doing here.
Yeah. Well, that's the other problem is once you swipe something into potential play, it's visible to everybody.
Right.
So you can really see everybody's tiles, which is kind of a...
But to be fair, we were talking about this when we were playing with Annie the other day. You're not going to put down tiles if you don't intend on using them anyways.
Well, I accidentally just swiped that eye out there.
Well, there you
so
go.
It happens sometimes. But
I know he has an eye now.
it's not a big deal. And actually, for a party game thing, like this is cool because only one person really needs an iPad.
Yeah.
But you can bring this everywhere, and if people have their phones on them, you guys can play Scrabble.
Yeah.
I see this as being like a good airport game.
Yeah.
Sitting and
Tile
waiting.
rack is free, so
Yeah.
you don't have to force anyone into, you know.
It's not like you have to
Pointing
buy
up a
Scrabble
dollar.
to get tile rack.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is really cool. I enjoy this, and I think it's one of the most clever implementations of it.
Who doesn't like Scrabble? The Ford Fiesta is back as our sponsor again this week. Thank you guys. Now, one of the things that I do a lot on my commute to work is think. I think about a lot of things. I have my to-do list develops in my mind. Of course, this is a horrible time to come up with to-dos because I'm driving. I can't stop and write things down. There is, however, an app for both Android and iOS called Recall. What's great about it is that they have a dedicated phone number that you can call. Your personal phone number is associated with that number, so it'll add to-do items directly to your account from your phone. So check this out.
Add, share, or recall?
Add. Remind me to fire David Prager.
Staging. Got it. Add, share, or recall?
It's awesome. Ford Sync made it better. Find a controller. Use as controller. Connect. Yes. Waiting for game. Okay. And our fourth and final and favorite game here, The Incident.
The Incident is one of my favorite iPad games of all time. You'll notice that I will never make eye contact with you once, Internet, because I am playing The Incident.
Now, I was really hoping I was going to find a multiplayer game a little more exciting than The Incident, but this is just hands down best gameplay experience. It's a fun game. Still haven't gotten sick of this. This has been out for a while now.
Yeah, it's one of the older ones, and they just added the gamepad support not too long ago. And it's just a simple like run and jump game. You are in the middle of a strange incident where the weirdest stuff in the world is falling from the sky, and all you have to do is stop yourself from getting crushed as you climb like the pile of stuff. And it's like everything from like Moai heads to like double-decker buses to giant drills.
Yeah, this
it's
is
awesome.
This is a universal app, so you don't have to download a separate free controller. So you can play it on your iPhone as just use your iPhone as the game and controller. Play it on your iPad as just the game and controller, or use both like we're doing now.
This is really fun because not only did they make it a simple controller for it, they actually added like a little bit of value. You can see sort of like a Tetris-style preview
what's coming next,
of what's going to fall on your head.
Does that really matter?
It's totally useless. It's totally useless, but it's a lot of fun. This is my favorite implementation of this. And then when you hook this up to either a TV or you hook it up via AirPlay, it just feels like you're playing a Super Nintendo.
Right.
$1,000 Super Nintendo.
It's a little pricey. Some of the other games on here you can also hook up using either HDMI out or your Apple TV mirroring, and it's going to turn your iPad into a controller once you go full screen on your HD TV. I know the FIFA 2012 is going to do that. I think Chopper 2 did that as well.
Yep.
Scrabble did not, and The Incident does. All right, let us know what you think. See if what are your favorite games that you're doing this kind of combination iPad and iPhone thing. Let us know at AppJudgment at revision3.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and on Google Plus now. We have a page. Check us out.
Check us out on Bebo and Mix.
Spotify and Rdio and